Hello, future chemists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the heart of organic chemistry. Today, we are unraveling the mystery of nucleophiles, the nucleus-loving species that drive countless reactions. We'll start with the basics, then dive deeper into their types, factors affecting their power, and finally, explore their crucial role in advanced reaction mechanisms. Get ready for an insightful ride across 4 levels of understanding. Ready to discover the fundamental players in organic reactions? Let's begin with the easy level and uncover what nucleophiles truly are. On this slide, we define nucleophiles as electron-rich species attracted to positive centers, often called nucleus-loving. They possess lone pairs or pi bonds, which they donate to electron-deficient sites, known as electrophiles, to form new bonds. Think of them as electron donors in a chemical handshake. This electron donation is key to their reactivity and role in forming complex organic molecules. They're fundamental to how organic reactions proceed. Continuing our easy exploration, nucleophiles are essentially Lewis bases, always seeking out electron-deficient sites. Their electron-rich nature makes them highly reactive. Common examples include hydroxide ions, water, and ammonia. For instance, in a reaction with methyl bromide, the hydroxide ion acts as a nucleophile, attacking the carbon and displacing the bromine. These examples highlight their role in initiating chemical changes. Now, let's test your understanding of basic nucleophile concepts. Take a moment to read and answer these 3 practice questions. Good luck! Great work on the basics. Now, let's step up our game and explore nucleophiles with a bit more depth in our medium-level content. At the medium level, we delve into nucleophiles as Lewis bases, emphasizing their role as electron pair donors. We then classify them into anionic, like hydroxide, and neutral, like water or ammonia, highlighting the presence of lone pairs or pi bonds. Understanding these types is crucial for predicting their behavior in various reactions, setting the stage for more complex organic chemistry concepts. This foundational knowledge is key. Moving on, we'll examine the key factors influencing nucleophilicity. First, charge. Negatively charged species are generally stronger nucleophiles. Next, electronegativity. Within a period, less electronegative atoms are better nucleophiles as they hold electrons less tightly. Then, size and polarizability. In Protex solvents, larger atoms are better due to less solvation. Finally, steric hindrance. Bulky nucleophiles are less effective. These factors collectively determine a nucleophile's strength and reactivity. Let's consolidate our understanding with an example. Consider the reaction of an alkyl halide. A strong anionic nucleophile, like cyanide, will readily attack the electrophilic carbon. In contrast, a neutral nucleophile like water would react slower, often requiring a more activated electrophile or different conditions. This illustrates how the type and properties of a nucleophile directly influence reaction rates and pathways, a critical concept in organic synthesis. You've tackled the medium-level content with great focus. Now, challenge yourself with these 5 practice questions designed to deepen your understanding of nucleophile types and factors affecting their strength. Ready to dive even deeper? The hard level awaits, where we'll explore the intricate nuances of nucleophile behavior. In the hard level, we explore the significant impact of solvents on nucleophilicity. In Protex solvents, hydrogen bonding hinders smaller anions, making larger, less solvated ions better nucleophiles. Thus, iodide is stronger than fluoride. Conversely, in aprotic solvents, without strong hydrogen bonding, smaller, more reactive anions like fluoride emerge as stronger nucleophiles. This solvent-dependent reversal is a critical concept for predicting reaction outcomes. Next, we differentiate between basicity and nucleophilicity. Basicity is a thermodynamic measure of proton affinity, while nucleophilicity is a kinetic measure of reactivity towards an electrophilic carbon. While often correlated, they are not always the same. For instance, a bulky base like T-butoxide is a strong base but a poor nucleophile due to steric hindrance. Understanding this distinction is vital for predicting whether a reagent will act as a base or a nucleophile in a given reaction. Finally, we introduce ambident nucleophiles, species with two or more reactive sites. The cyanide ion, for example, can attack through either carbon or nitrogen. Similarly, the nitrite ion can react via oxygen or nitrogen. The regioselectivity, which site attacks, is influenced by the electrophile, solvent, and temperature, often explained by the hard-soft acid-base principle. This complexity adds another layer to predicting reaction products. You've navigated some complex concepts. Now, apply your knowledge to these 7 hard-level practice questions. They will challenge you to think critically about solvent effects, basicity versus nucleophilicity, and ambident nucleophiles. Congratulations on reaching the hardest level. Here, we'll connect nucleophiles to advanced theories and competitive exam insights. Prepare for a comprehensive understanding. At this deepest level, we integrate frontier molecular orbital theory. Nucleophiles donate electrons from their highest occupied molecular orbital, or HOMO, to the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, or LUMO, of the electrophile. A higher energy HOMO in the nucleophile generally signifies stronger nucleophilicity, as its electrons are more readily available for bond formation. Effective orbital overlap is also crucial for efficient reaction pathways. Next, we apply the hard-soft acid-base principle. Hard nucleophiles, small, concentrated charge, low polarizability like fluoride, prefer hard electrophiles. Soft nucleophiles, large, diffuse charge, high polarizability like iodide, prefer soft electrophiles. This hard likes hard, soft likes soft rule helps predict reaction selectivity, especially for ambident nucleophiles, guiding which attack site is favored under different conditions. This principle is fundamental for advanced organic synthesis. We also analyze the role of nucleophiles in key reaction mechanisms. In SN2 reactions, strong, unhindered nucleophiles are crucial for backside attack. In SN1, nucleophiles attack preformed carbocations, with their strength being less critical for the rate-determining step. For E2 reactions, strong nucleophiles can also act as strong bases, promoting elimination, especially if they are sterically hindered. Understanding this interplay between nucleophilicity, basicity, and steric factors is paramount for predicting reaction outcomes and designing synthetic routes. Finally, we touch upon quantitative measures like the Swain-Scott and Mays equations. These provide numerical scales for nucleophilicity, allowing for more precise prediction of reaction rates beyond qualitative trends. Such quantitative approaches are vital in advanced chemical research and industrial applications, helping chemists fine-tune reactions and develop new synthetic methodologies. This deeper dive solidifies your understanding of nucleophiles' profound impact. You've absorbed a lot of high-level information. Now, test your mastery with these first 5 challenging questions. They require a deep understanding of FMO, sub, and reaction mechanisms. Keep pushing your limits. Here are the final 5 questions for the hardest level. These will truly test your comprehensive grasp of nucleophiles and their applications in complex organic chemistry problems. That concludes our in-depth exploration of nucleophiles. We've covered everything from basic definitions to advanced theories and their impact on reaction mechanisms. For more such engaging and comprehensive content to ace your GMAIN preparation, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and new lessons. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep aiming for success.